Good morning. It's me, Pearl, and this is Todaro. And I am a little sleepy because I did have a fun Valentine's Day yesterday. But I'm here to look at the energetic balance between divine masculine and the divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our outside world. So we can glean things from people in our real lives, but really we're just looking at our own energy. And if we want to see changes, we need to shift first in ourselves to see it reflected back to us. So I hope everyone had a lovely day yesterday. For me, I think it was my best Valentine's Day. And I got lots of messages from the DM. So it was fun. And now I'm tired and probably not going to be very productive today, but what are you going to do? Okay. Top of the deck, overall headspace for the Divine Feminine, who's going first this morning because she did have the most cards showing. We have the Four of Cups in reverse. So Divine Feminine is getting real. I think part of the process of letting go of the fantasy and coming out of that escape with the enlightenment that you've received is that now you have to get real about this whole thing, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, career, relationship, uh, work of art, whatever it is. It's time to like be real now. And um, it was fun in the fantasy world, and it's a little uncertain coming out of that. So she's just thinking about it. She's like, wow, like this shit is real. Okay. Okay. And she's maybe feeling like she needs a little bit of grounding, like connecting to nature, kind of like getting really rooted into the physical, into do now to go forward, and follow this emotion that she's feeling to come out of that paused energy. She might need to really just be in this present space because the niggling thing in the back of her mind is the high priestess energy that she's in. So my favorite image was Grace Strega saying that like the high priestess would just like float away because she's so not grounded. So this divine feminine is really, really trusting in her intuition. And the thing that I'm strongly getting from the presence of this card is just a very strong sense of I believe. And then the first thing in her mind is like, I have faith. So she's just very, I think she's feeling a little bit flighty, a little bit kind of like not sure what to do. So she's just trusting and going with the flow and kind of like touching base with her intuition and just being like, okay, I feel good. So I'm going to keep thinking the thoughts that are keeping me here. And overall, she's really feeling powerful too, the high priestess energy. And of course, that's that twin flame card. So there's union in self. There's realizing that this journey that she's on is about that balancing of her own energy, and that the things she was seeking outside of herself she can gain within herself. She kept looking to fantasy where she would create the potential for her happiness to come through other sources, and there is now an understanding that she has to give herself these things and then it will be reflected back to her, and then she can do the same. The first thing on her mind is the Hierophant. So that's why we've got, this major energy of the High Priestess being, I believe, and then I have faith in what I believe in. And this, of course, can represent marriage and legal contracts. It can represent having to sign contracts, higher lessons, higher level relationships, rigid belief systems, authority figures. I think for Divine Feminine, this is really just representing sacred union in that marriage. I think she's feeling like she's experiencing traditional sacred union in a way she wasn't necessarily expecting. And she has a lot of faith in the connection that she has to this divine masculine energy inside of herself. And she's seeing it reflected back to herself from a specific iteration of some kind. And she's enjoying the way that it feels. There's a sense that she didn't realize in the past that she always was trying to get this from outside, but now that she knows that she gives to herself and then it comes back to her, it's almost like it's so easy. She doesn't have to fight against herself anymore in this Five of Swords energy. She's just being, she's just having faith that she can't really fight against this twin flame journey because then we have the Two of Wands here. So she's just sort of like, whatever, man. Like, I can't find it. I'm determined to learn all of the lessons that I possibly can on this journey. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to resist it. And by not resisting it, I'm not going to be stuck in this place where I'm waiting for things to happen. I'm going to flow with this energy, right? That intuition in the back of my mind, I'm just going to allow this to carry me forward. I'm not going to resist it. I'm not going to fight against it. I'm not accepting defeat either in regards to this union, to the traditional sacred union that I desire. I will have that, even though I'm not exactly certain where the journey is taking me at this point. She is feeling the Magician in its reverse. There's a lot of major energy in her headspace right now, also, I should add. We've got the Magician in its reversal clarifying the Hierophant. So she feels powerless to an authority of some kind. And I actually think she feels powerless to the Divine Masculine. I think the Divine Masculine has taken on an authority role, primarily because of his Emperor energy, which can tend to go into shadow at times. And so he's taken the lead. And she wants to be able to express to him, but it's like he won't give her an opportunity to do that that's not impersonal. So she just kind of feels powerless to that rigidity that he has. And she's surrendering to it. She's not accepting defeat in regards to the journey. She's not going to let it. I sense that she's like, I'm not going to let this make me feel some type of way. Like, he's doing his thing. I'm kind of powerless to it. And I'm just sort of accepting that. And by doing that, she arrives at the fountain, which is, as you recall, since this has come up a lot, we went from never seeing this card at all for like a month to, hey, stalker card. And it is an additional major arcana card outside of the major arcana in the Fountain Tarot. So it's obviously the name of the deck originates from this card, and it's an important card, and it's about everything cosmically coming together like synchronistically, basically, through to that one source, the fountain, right? The source. This is what she's powerless to. She's powerless on the one side to the twin flame journey. She doesn't know where she's going, but she's not going to accept defeat in regards to it. She's powerless to the pull that it has. She's just not going to let it throw her. And because she feels everything coming together, like in that convergence, she's being really patient in this Seven of Coins energy. She's planted the seeds. And in fact, this is clarifying this Two of Wands, which is why I don't feel the Two of Wands is an impatience with twin flame journey so much as it's the seeds have been planted. So this card is ask and it will be given, but you have to wait, right? To see the ships come in the Three of Wands, and then of course have your foundation in the Four of Wands sacred union. So divine feminine she's okay with waiting. She's patient. That's that Seven of Pentacles energy. She's asked. She believes it's going to be given. She doesn't know how or where. She's not accepting defeat in regards to receiving this. She feels powerless to the universe, to the convergence, to like whatever is supposed to happen. So she's just patiently allowing it. She's like, okay, I know. I know what I know. I trust my intuition. It's the back of my mind. The top of the deck for her heart space, we can't get rid of this pretty lady. She keeps coming back, this Queen of Cups. She's very chill right now. She's able to be deep in her emotions and feel her emotions and then rise above the water, take a deep breath, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy friends and companionship. She's able to be compassionate, kind, caring, giving, healing, psychic, intuitive, um, and very beautiful right now, like radiating an inner beauty that people are noticing and commenting on, you know. Um, she feels very much in command of her emotions. The niggling thing in the back of her mind, or sorry, her heart space, bottom of the deck, is the Page of Cups in reverse. So I think she just thinks she's a little naive. She's feeling a little bit afraid of her never having had something like this before and not knowing what the hell to do with it. Because now that she does believe in this experience of the twin flame journey and she believes that she's been called on this mission and that this other, soul is wandering around on the earth that's part of that, and now that's coming together, and she's like, that's so stupid. Like, I feel her being like, ew, I hate that I believe this. It's dumb. And kind of like a little embarrassed about it, and just sort of like, oh, is this really, did I, this is it though, it really is. And feeling also a little bit childish and foolish about how to express this pure love she has, because this Page of Pentacles is really such a lovely, like, sweet, awkward, goofy, like, what do I do with my hands kind of a card, like, oh God, like bumping noses, when you try to kiss, like that kind of thing. So she's feeling a little bit like, like anxiety about what this is going to be like as she starts to experience this manifestation that she's been wanting for so long. We have another major arcana clarifying a major arcana. We have the Hermit clarifying the Hierophant. And this is, I mean, confirming even more for me that this Hierophant energy is coming from divine masculine right now. Not only she senses he wants to marry her, and that he wants to do something in a traditional way because he seems to be following suit with traditions. They seem to be important to him, which they are to her too, so she's appreciating that. But he's making the decisions, right? Right now, the divine masculine is a limiting belief for divine feminine. He's functioning as a limiting belief for her because he's limiting contact, he's limiting how they express, how she expresses. He's still in that role with her. So she's soul searching. She's like, okay, I must want that. Probably I didn't have a lot of discipline when I was younger. And feel like, again, maybe like yesterday when we talked about inner child wounds, the one of helplessness, where you're like an over nurturing energy creates a helplessness so that you have a dependency. So since that's an inner wound, then she's doing a little bit of soul searching, being like, probably there is a little bit of that going on. But there's such a lightness to how she's handling this energy and she's also still alone. She's still in isolation. She's still by herself. Um, she's got that light of the star though with her. She's got that healing energy of the star and that faith and that hope that she carries with her with that Hierophant energy. And my confirmation about the way that divine masculine is acting is the King of Swords, which is next. But this isn't in his shadow traits, he's in his light. He's in his integrity. He's, in his honesty. He's chivalrous. He's got a plan. He seems to have a strategy. He's following through. He's a protector. And this is who she's not going to fight anymore. She's not fighting him. She's like, honestly, everything he's doing seems to be going according to plan, and I'm just going to surrender. I'm just gonna, he's still in his isolation. I'm still in in my isolation, but this seems to be part of his plan. So I'm gonna not fight against it and just allow that. And I'm gonna focus on myself and that soul searching energy and kind of dig out those wounds that seem to be left that have to do with some energy, and distrust that she kind of feels from divine masculine, like that he has maybe trust issues with her. So she's kind of gently going within and looking at that, and I feel very just kind of calm and sort of like, okay, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. The Two of Wands that's in reverse is being clarified by the Five of Wands upright. So we have a block that she's feeling, a block that she's aware of, that has to do with her fears about not being entirely sure what's going to happen now on this journey. Since she's like, okay, I accept my mission. I don't know that I know exactly who I'm supposed to do this mission with, but I think I know, but I don't know. So whatever, I accept it. But I feel that your heart space is indicating that your resistance to the twin flame journey, or your resistance to letting go to specific iterations, those kind of things, that causes this stuck energy for you. Being afraid about who it is or where you're supposed to go, or there's a tendency there to create a fear that causes a blockage. And that's supported by this Nine of Swords that comes up next after this Five of Wands happens. So here's the story. Divine Masculine goes into hermit energy and he becomes icy, cold, and aloof because he is doing his plan of some kind. This creates a fear in you that you don't know what's happening, and this makes you go into a place where you put up your defenses and you begin to be in this mode of blocking any of the forward progress on the journey, the twin flame journey, by being afraid of divine masculine's truth and his need to be alone, his need for space. So your heart space is kind of just letting you know this is what has been going on, right? This is not where you are now. You're trusting your intuition now, so you're understanding what happens. You're understanding what constitutes the block. That's why I'm saying it's this calm feeling of being like, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's triggering me. Like you're paying attention to who's triggering you, what sort of feeling it's giving you, etc. This Magician card is the one in reverse, is what's clarifying your fears and your worries and your anxieties. So there is, when this happens, when this energy happens from divine masculine, you start to be afraid that you actually aren't powerful, that you aren't able to manifest this, that it's in someone else's control and it's not under your control and you can't really do it. And you are wrong about your powers and you are wrong about your role. And like, that's what happens. Whenever there's a little bit of sticky energy, any bumps on the journey, you've immediately questioned your ability, your power to manifest. And in so doing, also kind of insulting and questioning divine masculines too. Because it's like, by you being afraid that he's never going to do it, you're suggesting that he's not strong enough or not good enough. And so you've been triggering each other in that pattern. But you're really understanding this. This is what this hermit's journey has taught you. You are in your Queen of Cups and your Queen of Wands energy. So you have strength. In fact, twice as much strength as the King of Wands card. So the divine feminine in the wands, she's really the most powerful. And this is who is clarifying the fountain. So you're understanding that this whole process that you've gone through on this twin flame journey, the pain that you've endured, the worries, the fears, the anxieties that have surfaced, all of this has been this culmination for the both of you, because you're mirrored and these are shared things, has been this culmination of all of these synergistic energies kind of pulling the two of you together magnetically, because the Queen of Wands is a magnetic personality who can attract whatever she desires. She is super charismatic. She's super passionate. When she has a vision, not only is it, fully realized and it's completely articulated because she's able to communicate because she's a masterful communicator as well. So divine feminine is like, oh, all of this that I was fighting against, this is what actually makes me incredibly powerful. And then the final card is so good because we have the Seven of Pentacles in her headspace being patient, that these seeds are going to grow into the Eight of Pentacles, into the Nine of Pentacles, into the 10, etc. In her heart space, we've got reciprocity. Finally, divine feminine feels I am receiving as much as I am giving. And it's not because divine masculine started giving me more, because he was always giving me this. He was always giving me what I was giving. And he was always able to receive what I was able to receive. And because both of us were not open to receiving, when we would give, it would be imbalanced because one would be ready to receive and the other wouldn't, etc. But she feels now, nope, we are in a state of reciprocity. What he is putting in, I am putting in. What he is open to receiving, I am open to receiving. Now we're talking. Okay. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Divine masculine. Top of the deck. Overall headspace for divine masculine energy is the Wheel of Fortune card, but it's bent just ever so slightly. So it was doing the little spinny thingy that happens whenever my arm touched it or whatever. So what we see is powerful change, shifting right now in the current moment. Like we're in the process of this energy. It's shifting like as this reading is taking place. It was in its reverse and it shifted upright and it can't be stopped. There's destiny, there's fate, there's the divine turning the wheel, and there's a sense that fortune has been mastered by surrender to it. And the niggling thing in the back of divine masculine's mind is the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Upright or reverse, you get your wish. And I can see what his wish is. All the fuck over his headspace. So he's going to get what he wishes. I don't even know if I can actually do a good reading of this because it's exciting. So he's feeling like he's shifting into the master of his fortune and he can have what he wishes for. And the first thing on his mind is the Knight of Pentacles, the divine feminine, who right now is single and fabulous, and he in his solo energy. And it is possible for him to be able to have this wish. And we've got the 9 and the 9. He's really wanting to reveal this divine feminine. He's kept her hidden. Here she is in her star form doing this healing energy. This is also about his wish fulfillment coming down, touching to the ground, actually grounding here on the earthly plane. It's about his hope, but it's about him having done this healing, having not relied upon divine feminine, tried not to rely on her to do the work, but actually having done work himself and being ready to reveal what has been hidden, what he has kept hidden because of his fears and because of his wanting to protect. And then we have the World, which is divine feminine again. Like I cannot even. Completion, the end of the cycle, the end of keeping divine feminine hidden, but finally revealing her. Finally, this is the only thing that has kept him from coming forward. He would have been here so much sooner if it wasn't for the fact that he wasn't willing to keep her hidden when they were together. Like he didn't want to do that. So that's why he wasn't with her. But he's ending this need to keep this hidden, to not allow her to shine. Because he's releasing the shadow traits of the emperor, which includes rigidity and grasping behavior, stubbornness, hoarding. There's definitely a sense of overprotective energy. And he's releasing that and coming into the light traits of this power that he feels as the emperor. He also feels powerless to his divine feminine. He's like, no matter how much power he gains in the material, he'll nothing will ever have the kind of power over him that his divine feminine has. And he has fear about that. He has fear. That's what makes him nervous. That's what makes him like he can't ever lose something so precious like that again. And then we have the sun. We have the Nine of Cups and we have the sun. We have the sun clarifying the star in reverse. So this is like, I want to bring illumination to this divine feminine. I have achieved enlightenment in the sun energy. There's been a healing process of this inner child. We're seeing that star's light here, having healed the inner child. Now this wish can come down to be fulfilled. Now he can have his happiness, which is to reveal his divine feminine, and he's charging forward in the chariot energy to his completion of this cycle. So he's coming at you 1,000 beats per minute. All right. That's the head space. The heart space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A little bit of overfeeling. Top of the deck. Overall, center of the heart is the 8 of Cups. It's upright. So he has chosen to walk away from the things that don't serve him towards a higher calling. And his higher calling, when we look at his headspace, is this fulfillment of the integration of the divine feminine into his world. So he's doing that. He's walking away from what doesn't serve him. The niggling feeling is the star upright. So it's having gone within and allowed the healing to take place, tapped into his own divine feminine nurturing energy, not relying on an external feminine to do this, pouring his unconscious desires into the material and seeing it come to fulfillment, and honoring this divine feminine energy and bringing her, revealing what has been hidden. Oh my God. And the Page of Swords is upright and clarifying the Page of Pentacles, which means he's brave enough right now to pick up this sword, this new idea, this truth, this all the hopes that he's got here in his headspace, and wield it even though he's uncertain about where he's going. He just knows that he doesn't want to be where he's been anymore, and he's excited, although scared, to try to take these steps to this new place. But this is that Harry Potter energy where he, only has his wand and one spell, but faces Voldemort because he can't do anything else. He has to be triumphant. And the heart and head in union. This is an emperor who's releasing the shadow traits, the controlling and overprotectiveness that has caused him to keep divine feminine hidden in this star in reverse energy. He is releasing those traits which have to do with fear about not being able to control the situation and not trusting that things will work out. He's got a negativity bias in his life, thinking like, nothing ever works out for me. So he's really always tried to maintain this control to try to get things to work, not realizing that those over machinations are actually what has caused his issue, because it's this lack of faith that he will get what he wants. But that's over, because here's the completion, and here's the Queen of Pentacles. In completion of this cycle, he gets to be with the specific iteration of the divine feminine that he has been hoping for in that star energy. As he releases the shadows of his emperor energy and comes into the light, he attracts this Queen of Pentacles, who he sees as abundant and fertile and creative and solid and independent and able to provide for herself. You stop fighting the Seven of Wands, trying to do everything perfectly, trying to leap from wand to wand with precision, fighting to stay, to keep from falling into this, being drowned in his emotions and feelings. That's why he's been so rigid. That's why he's been so protective. And he's releasing this energy. He's not fighting. He's realizing these are illusions. I've been just doing this to keep myself from experiencing happiness because I didn't feel that I was worthy of it. And this is this rebirth, this death, clarifying that as he has allowed these shadow traits, these cyclic behaviors with divine feminine to die, to end, this new energy is now possible between them. And he can bring illumination and just rebirth this connection that he's really longing for. Oh, fuck. And then the Chariot is clarified, dies by the Knight of Swords, bitch, which is another fast-moving action. And it's that clarity, integrity. It's the page, being brave enough to take the sword and then becoming the knight and going in and just bringing clarity and truth, not only to himself and seeing how he has opposed himself in this emperor energy, but to the divine feminine, so he can explain to her what has happened, even though she doesn't need to hear that. She knows already. And feminine is the high priestess and the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands, so she fucking knows everything already. But we end with the Wheel of Fortune upright. So we started his side with the Wheel of Fortune and we end. This is good luck, good fortune, abundance, massive changes, powerful change. I'm floored by this reading. Like, I was already exhausted from drinking too much rosé. Oh my God. I wasn't hungover. I'm just like so old and tired. That's it. I'm just an old lady. I was like, if I was 20, I wouldn't have even noticed that. One bottle. Are you kidding? One bottle with a charcuterie. How was I even drunk, All right. So Divine Feminine, let's take a look at your oracle messages. You are in the, you're actually right now in the shadow attributes of the healer because you're failing to take care of yourself. Not good. You need to take care of yourself, Divine Feminine. So no more entire bottles of rosé. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 joints. No, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, and ability to help transform pain into healing. So you must not lose yourself in the process of healing others. Last night, we had like a little girls chat, couple of us with we drank together and just chatted for a bit. And one of my friends said I was the greatest healer. And I was really moved by that, but I corrected her. I said, no, I'm the greatest entertainer. And then God was like, oh, perfect vessel. I'll use her to heal people because she'll distract them. So I think you're also maybe resisting your role as a healer a little bit. Like when people are telling you that you're overwhelmed by what that means, or you're not entirely certain you completely can handle that responsibility. When I had I had an archangel vision and was told that I was a healer when I think I was like 19 or so. And I responded like a 19-year-old and was like, I don't want to be a healer. And Archangel Raphael was like, it doesn't matter what you want. So chill. Now I'm a healer and I'm still resisting it a little bit. And one of the ways we do that is that we don't care for ourselves. We might be caring for others and making sure, checking in with them, making sure they're okay, everything's going on with them, but where's my healer that calls in and is like, everything okay with you, you know so I'm starting to have that energy in my life now, but it's just, you need to make sure that you're really taking care of yourself. In this community, it's easy to forget that. Saint Hildegard von Bingen is here to help you believe. For the first time ever, when I see her, I'm like, girl, I do. That high priestess in the back of her mind, she believes right now. She can see like examples, expanders around her who are experiencing the twin flame journey in ways that are like crazy. So she is in a place where she can believe. And in my case, my DM like made me believe. So St. Hildegard is helping support you because now you have to maintain that. It can't just be like, oh, this happened and I believe, remember the Red Sea? Like, stay in the Red Sea. Don't go to the other shore and start doubting in the miracle again. Like, just be in that place where you saw the sea rise up and allow you to cross. Like, stay there, believe. Action inspired from aligned thoughts is joyful action. Action offered from a place of contradicted thought is hard, unsatisfying work and does not yield good results. But when you really feel good about jumping into action, that is a clear sign that you are not offering thoughts that are contradictory to your own desires. Wow. Please take this card, all ye who are very hard on thyself for procrastination, because this is a really blessed little lesson. Procrastination is an addiction, and the mistress of any addiction is shame. So, the more we shame the procrastination we're doing, the more procrastination we do, right? Mistress of addiction. Okay, cool. Cleared that up. Now, understand this. When you don't feel like doing something, it's not because you're lazy or a bad person. You can stop moralizing pretty much everything that was already extracted from the Bible by Christ saying not to judge others, but regardless, you can fucking cut it out. You don't have to call yourself bad. You don't have to say this food is good or this is bad or I was good or I was bad. You can just sort of maintain a certain amount of personal neutrality. Doesn't mean you don't take accountability when you do things that are causing pain or strife for others. It just means that you have an understanding. It's 9:44 right now. You have an understanding that what has happened has a purpose and comes from a source of misalignment inside of yourself, and you are responsible for aligning yourself, but there's no reason to judge yourself as bad because then you attract more of that behavior, right? So, in terms of procrastination, when you don't feel like doing something, it is likely that there is some kind of resistance to the outcome of the activity. Either if you complete the activity, you'll be successful in some way, and you're a little bit afraid about that experience of the success. And people are like, really? I don't do it because I'm afraid of success. Like, it's that simple. It is. It's stupid. But there might be some limiting thing in there that you think that you're not going to be able to handle it, or you're not going to be good at it, or you don't deserve it, or people like you don't get that, or whatever. There's like a little something. So, in order to confirm that belief for yourself, you are feeling unmotivated to do it. You're also worried about it being perfect a lot too. So you're like, because you have this idea of perfection, which is not even a real thing, you are putting it off because you're like, I don't think I can make this as good as it could be yet. I just need to be better in some way so that then I can do it, right? So there's that. If you try to offer action when you're in these places, when you feel fear of success or fear of the outcome of the thing being perfect or not perfect, the actions you offer will not be overly helpful. They will just keep reinforcing what you think is true about the outcome of the thing you're procrastinating. So it requires you to procrastinate. If you feel like procrastinating, you should until you don't. But instead of being ashamed that you don't feel like doing the thing you're supposed to do right now, which is going to make you, it's going to attract more of that. You have to be like, I must be worried about some aspect of this. I'm going to put it aside. I don't really feel like I can kind of dig into it right at the moment because I feel like I might be really triggered by that. So I'm going to do this thing, this activity to get my mind off that. And maybe after I'm like a little chill for a bit, maybe I'll do a little meditation and ask for some enlightenment about what it is I'm afraid of. Maybe there's a tool I'm missing. Maybe there's a person I'm supposed to meet that will facilitate this and I haven't met them yet. Maybe there's a whatever. If you take the shame out of it, you're not going to keep doing it. And just remember that when you are having aligned thoughts and you feel like taking action, that's going to be the most effective action. Hold your vision. You are in your Queen of Wands energy, so you are in powerful place to do that. Again, that's that same thing. Believe. Hold your vision. This is Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. It was in its reverse. This is an emphasis that has to do with believing. But it's also about hold your vision because you feel it's happening. And if there's any delay, do not let that shake your vision. Understand that there is a plan here that's happening. It is happening. And just hold on, Divine Feminine, because you have a tendency to like have a win. And then if the timeline starts to mess with you, you're like, don't go into that energy. Hold that vision that you have right now of yourself fulfilling your own needs. We have Fox Spirit. Think on your feet. Be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared and you are meant to move swiftly. Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you to think on your feet using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move, aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox Spirit, will serve you well. Very interesting. So you need to be clever and you need to trust that you will be guided to clever solutions. And things are changing really swiftly. I mean, to see the Wheel of Fortune like that, especially with it spinning around and around, like in the chariot, like there's some shit going down. All right, Divine Masculine. Let's take a look at your cards. You are in the shadow attributes of the Samaritan. So you have slipped into a feeling of needing appreciation and recognition a little bit. So I think you've done some things and you're like feeling a little bit like you need appreciation and recognition. And the divine is reminding you that you do not, that you do those things because you love, and that is why you do it. And it doesn't need to result in some kind of a recognition. So you need to refine your capacity to, when you offer help, just be doing it from a place of appreciation and recognition. There might be people in your life right now that you are having to help and they are not acknowledging, like this might not be about Divine Feminine. This could be because it says refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. So it's possible that there's individuals or someone or a group or something that you have to help in some way and you would prefer not to. And it's just an uncomfortable position that you're in. And it's these trapeze artists here on this, in the image too, like having to trust that the other person is going to catch you. I don't know, there's something interesting in there about that, but you just kind of have to help people because it's the right thing to do, even if they're not going to acknowledge it. And even in fact, even if they're going to make you bad or like feel bad or like you didn't do enough for them, you just have to help them anyway. You are getting practice makes perfect from your guardian angels. So there's a lot of discomfort here because you're just kind of figuring things out and you're getting a lot of support in this way. Like just keep practicing, like just keep doing it. You're doing it. Just keep doing it. So hang in there. You're gonna get it. I understand the rules of the game of life. Now that I understand the rules of this game of eternal life, now that I understand the powerful law of attraction and deliberate creation, I can prepave segment by segment my life experience into becoming the allower I was born to be. For I was destined to a life of fulfillment and never ending joy. So, divine masculine, now that you get it, you know how you can experience this wheel of fortune, this destiny, this never ending joy. You just have to prepave each segment, each component, each thing that you're desiring with thoughts that allow it, and it will come to you. And then to emphasize the wheel of fortune, here is expect powerful change. And then, wow, okay, this used to always happen early on in the readings, and it just happened for the first time in a while today. But it used to be that Divine Feminine would always get Lemuria and Divine Masculine would always get Pleiades. And both of them got those cards today in reverse, which is emphasis. And for Divine Masculine, it is a double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So don't forget that your double mission is not only just to come together with this Divine Feminine, but through this process of channeling this energy, uplift all of humanity. You get the reward of being able to be together physically and experience support and partnership, but it's because you're doing something very monumental and difficult, creating heaven on earth and uplifting humanity together. You are getting ant spirit, time to collaborate, and you're getting the protection message. Also, I forgot to mention before, this is the Colette Baron Reed deck, a spirit animal oracle. And it says, do you really believe that you have to do everything yourself? Do you believe that somehow any help you get will be disappointing or not good enough? Perhaps it's time to address your issues of control and bias toward the negative. Two things I fucking said today in your reading. Like, God damn it. It doesn't matter where or why you came to be pessimistic or mistrustful. The fact that Ant Spirit is showing up now is a sign that you have an opportunity to heal and to relearn to trust that others will show up for you in a genuine way. And Spirit wants you to remember that your expectations and limiting beliefs are a vibrational offering that draws in the opposite of what you desire. Spirit wants to help you and will send collaborative partners your way. It's time to see the universe as conscious and connected, loving and helpful. But you must participate in this activity of co creation. Creating reality is not just about dreaming. If you're feeling orphaned from community, reach out and communicate. If you feel vulnerable, know that being present in your vulnerability can help you draw in someone who wants to assist you. Trust in your partnership with Spirit, and your outer conditions will start to reflect that. Then you will see the miracles waiting for you, including partners who appear ready to lend a hand. I can't make it up, so I don't bother. I just shuffle the cards and I just read them, and I just don't even have to make any of it up. Time to collaborate. Divine Masculine, your release of the Emperor energy, the shadow traits of the Emperor energy is so very important right now. It is time to embrace the real possibility that by continuing to control every parameter of this relationship, you are suggesting that Divine Feminine is helpless and reinforcing her beliefs about her not being able to take care of herself. If you want to help heal Divine Feminine, you have to heal the energy inside of yourself that is afraid that if you let the heart lead you, then the head will become helpless and will be out of control and unable to do its work, do its material world obligations, be responsible at everything. You feel so afraid, so distrustful that you're going to lose your sense of yourself. But that rigidity in wanting to control, you want to be with this person, but you want this person to be with you. Like, you've got to want to be together, and you've got to want to have a shared uh, trajectory, not one that you're directing and divine feminine is just blindly following. That's going to get old and it won't withstand time. So, and you know that. That's why your head and heart is like, yeah, I gotta stop doing this. So stop doing that. Love you, babe, but stop doing that. Also, you're missing out on an opportunity because divine feminine's like pretty capable and smart. So like take advantage. Have a team. Like a team is going to do better than one person. That's just going to be true. Okay, the both of you, bottom of the deck for the two of you. We have you in the energy, the shadow attributes of the advocate. So this came out yesterday for divine feminine. Now it's out for the both of you. You need to put your compassion into action for each other. You've been in a place where you've been advocating for personal gain, which you had to do in order to start experiencing that self-love and worthiness. But now that compassion that you've cultivated for yourself, you have to put that into action for and towards one another. And you both aren't sure how to do it. Divine feminine's like, I have no idea how to communicate with this divine masculine. Like, he will not let me. I don't have, like, in some cases I don't have a phone number. I don't have like an address. I don't have any way I could possibly communicate. So I just have to wait. And that's where the controlling aspect is. For others, it's they have communicated and he doesn't say anything or do anything in direct response to the communications, or is very tight-lipped or just not saying much. There's like different places you can be in the collective, of course, but for sure this divine feminine feels limited in her ability to put this compassion into action, so she's just doing it the best way she knows how. And divine masculine is realizing he needs to open up to allowing more compassion to come from the divine feminine and to allow more interaction and more control and direction. They need to talk about what they both want, not just what divine masculine wants to happen, but what does divine feminine want to happen? Like, does he even know that? Like, they need to advocate for themselves and for each other and for the union. Right now they're only advocating for self because they had to learn that, but they now need to like shift into a collective consciousness. And that's going to take this kind of energy. So Christ is here with the miracle to allow them to come together in some way, to show like in a very obvious way, either to divine masculine how he can communicate, because he really does need to take the lead in this way, not only to fulfill his role as that divine masculine emperor energy taking action, but also to be able to show divine feminine that he is willing to step up. Once he steps up, then he has to share the rule. So Christ is here to support in this transition and this miraculous rebirth that's taking place. I let my action be action and joy. Today's cards are a lot about action. You have intended action. Action is part of the deliciousness of your physical world. But you did not intend to create through physical bodily action. You intended to use your body to enjoy the actions that you have created through your thought. So, when you take your actions, you make your thoughts about them be in joy, so that when you take the actions, they are actions taken in joy. That's how you deliciously co-create. This time for healing card in its reversal, and the Christ card in its reversal. I do feel that the healing that has needed to take place in order for physical union to happen has happened. And that is backed up by unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. You are un past lives. You are unbound. You are no longer carrying those attachments and you're releasing them. You're getting lizard spirit. Dream the world into being. When was the last time you basked in the sun and allowed yourself to daydream, to imagine what might be and what you might become? Lizard spirit appears when you are called to let your imagination flow and dream something new. Inspiration is available to you now if you're willing to slow down and let your eyes close a little, allowing ideas to dance in your head. What might come into being if you were to pursue your dream? How might you grow and expand if you allowed yourself to dare to believe in the impossible, making it possible first in your dreaming mind and then in the world as you co create with spirit? Give in to the power of imagination, and soon your dream will become clearer. The steps will reveal themselves, and what was ephemeral will begin to coalesce into form. Dream it and be it. Spirit asks you to dare to dream big. So you are both right at this point where if you can hold your vision and dream big about what can happen between the two of you without fear and without doubt, which I think you can do, you can come into physical union like really soon because the Knight of Swords and the Chariot and all this energy, this like churning towards this outcome, the reciprocity divine feminine feels, the power of her vision, the presence of this King of Swords energy, the clarity, that directness, seeing her own mind with honesty and truthfulness. All good things. All right, let's close with a goddess from the goddess deck. This is to help balance the goddess energy. For 15 minutes at some point today, you can put two hands over your heart and repeat the mantra, my heart is the heart of the goddess. And you can picture any divine feminine energy from any modality at all, but I usually just pick a card to focus on for the day so we can get a sense of just different iterations of the divine feminine as she has occurred throughout time and across cultures. We got Morgan Le Fay today. Morgan Le Fay is commonly remembered as the enchantress half-sister of King Arthur. She is in fact the great queen goddess, ruler of the mystical island of Avalon, the fortunate island of the blessed dead. Sometimes equated with the ancient Irish warrior goddess Morrigan, she is the Celtic death goddess. As Morgana Fata, she is the controller of destinies and knows the fate of each person. She is noted for her healing powers, her knowledge of healing plants, and her prophetic vision. Like a shaman, she is a shapeshifter, able to take on many forms. Morgan Le Fay represents that deep place of healing magic within each of us, the center where wisdom and healing flow even in the moment of death. The ambivalence with which she is traditionally represented echoes our own fear of her deep and ancient wisdom. Very interesting. Well, a lovely reading for today. I am going to go rest my pretty little head because I'm very sleepy. I hope everyone does have a good day today. Stay tuned to Instagram, Tune In Tarot Instagram stories for the next major arcana card that will appear in the coming weeks. I'll probably do it in a couple of days or so. And once that card comes up, I will ask what songs you feel embody the energy of that card, and then you have a chance to win a free reading from me by sending the song ideas that you have, and I will add them to a playlist and I will shuffle it and do a reading from it. And then you too can win. So exciting. All right. Take care, everybody. Have the best day today. I will see you here tomorrow morning on Tuned In Tarot. Take care.